Hello, dear students. This is a test review for Business 7, Accounting for Small Business, test number 3. So to access this video as well as the test review PowerPoint file, go to your class on Canvas, go to modules and scroll down to test number 3 module right here. So I will add the test review right above test review video right above this PowerPoint file. So click on this file to open it. I already opened it right here. This is our test review. So as your previous two tests, your test will be open on Sunday at 12:01 a.m. and will close on Monday at 11:55 p.m. The dates are listed on your class schedule. Please refer to your class schedule, which are the last couple of pages of your syllabus. You have to complete this test in one attempt. You cannot save and return to it later. The test has a time limit of 3 hours. It has 5 extra points built in, and it will cover chapters 7, 8, and 9. I included 8 multiple choice questions for each chapter. So there are 3 chapters, therefore there are 24 questions at 2 points each. So about a third of your points, 48 points, come from multiple choices. The rest, or 2/3 of your points, 107 points, come from 6 problems which are similar to your homework problems, but you are not allowed to use the check my work feature or the hints. The format of the test is the same. You cannot print or copy it. If you get kicked out of the test for some reason, please contact me right away. Each student has a different set of problems, algorithmic numbers, and multiple choice questions. Once you complete the test, you can see your score right away, and it's automatically transferred from Connect to Canvas. However, if you want to see what you missed, what your answers were versus the correct answers, you have to wait until everybody is done. So Monday after 11:56 p.m., you can go back to your test 3 by clicking on its link from Canvas to see the feedback, to see your answers as well as correct answers. So guys, these are types of problems you're going to have. For chapter 7, we talked about sales, accounts receivables, and cash receipts. You will have to journalize all those different transactions. How to journalize cash sales, sales on credit or account, sales with sales tax, sales returns and allowances when we accept a return from a customer, cash receipts with and without sales discounts. For chapter 8, we talked about purchases and accounts payable and cash payments. So we were a buyer in chapter 8. And again, you have to journalize the other side of the transactions, the mirror reflection of chapter 7. How do you journalize purchases of merchandise, paying for freight in, us making purchase returns and getting purchase allowances, us making cash payments with or without purchase discounts? In chapter 9, there are 2 main concepts you have to know for the problems. You have to know 2 journal transactions for the petty cash fund. You will be asked to journalize the establishment of petty cash fund, just debit petty cash, credit cash, and the replenishment or reimbursement of petty cash. You will debit different assets and expenses where you spent your petty cash money, and you will credit cash. All of this should be very familiar based on your homework. No surprises here. Just review your homework. Prepare a cheat sheet for every chapter, 1 page per chapter. You should do just fine. Your homework is much more challenging than the problems I place on the test. And guys, the second large problem from chapter 9 will ask you to complete a bank reconciliation statement. You will have 2 components there, the bank side and the book side. And then you take the book side, and based on that, you make journal adjusting entries as needed to update cash in your books. So key terms for chapter 7, here they are. We talked about retailing business, merchandising business. I introduced new liability accounts, sales tax payable. We looked at the new group of revenue accounts, sales is the regular account, and you have two contra revenue accounts, sales returns and allowances and sales discounts. And we also talked about credit card expenses. We worked on the accounts receivable subsidiary ledger and prepared the schedule of AR. We talked about trade discounts, list price versus net price. We talked about how to calculate net sales on the income statement, which is simply sales minus SRA minus sales discounts. And these are, guys, your typical business transactions on how to sell an account with sales taxes, accept a return or give an allowance, receive the payment within the discount period, and receive the payment after the discount period. So that's chapter 7. In chapter 8, we distinguished among purchase requisition, the internal form, purchase order, and invoice, which are external forms. I taught you how to distinguish between FOB, free on board destination, versus shipping point. So for FOB destination, the seller pays for freight. For FOB shipping point, the buyer must pay for freight. We talked about credit terms and looked at 4 new accounts. They are all part of cost of goods sold. You have 2 regular accounts titled purchases and another one freight in, right here, not freight in. And then 2 contra COGS accounts, contra cost of goods sold account, purchase returns and allowances, minus plus, normal credit balance, and purchase discounts. We've briefly looked at the accounts payable subsidiary ledger. You prepared the schedule of accounts payable, and we calculated so-called NDCP, the net delivered cost of purchases. And the formula is just bringing these 4 COGS accounts together. It's just taking purchases plus freight in minus purchase returns and allowances minus purchase discounts. That gives us NDCP, net delivered cost of purchases, and that calculation you can find on the income statement for our small business. And then, guys, in the right column, you see the new transactions for purchases. This is purchase of merchandise on account. You can see it right here without freight, purchase of merchandise on account with freight, you debit freight in, purchase returns and allowances, when you and I make a return and receive an allowance, our payment within the discount period, and our payment outside of the discount period. So that's chapter 8. And then chapter 9, banking, we defined cash, looked at internal controls over cash. I introduced the new cash short or over discount, and we made journal entries. We briefly talked about promissory note and 2 journal transactions related to it. So look it over, understand what notes receivables is, it's an asset account, what interest income is, which is a revenue account. We talked about petty cash vouchers, 2 journal transactions to establish and to replenish, and then different types of definitions for banking. Payee, drawee, drawer, check, 3 types of endorsements, deposit slip, electronic fund transfer, credit versus debit memos, canceled versus dishonored checks, DIP or DIT, deposit in transit, outstanding checks, and service charges. And then also we looked at the bank reconciliation statement. So any questions that arise, you can always come to my office hours or email me. Again, I suggest making 1-page cheat sheet for chapter 7, separate for chapter 8, separate for chapter 9. Enjoy it, and I hope everybody does well on test number 3. I will update your status from test number 3 probably on Tuesday. I will calculate your status. Thank you so much.